Excellent morning, everyone. Tremendous afternoon and fantastic evening. This is Carla from MindPlore with Carla and Friends. And today we're actually starting something new. Unfortunately, my friend Jean is going to be teaching Spanish this year at a school, and the school started today or yesterday. So I'm having Gayathri replace Jean, and we'll see how it goes. I am anxious to get this started. I'm anxious to get started in the conversation. And we're talking about being in the moment right now. And one of the panelists is coming now, and I think all of you like him and you'll be happy to see him. So for today, I'm going to let people come late, but in the future, they need to be here before we go live. Having said that, the topic today is about being in the moment right now, because that's all we have. We have nothing else but the moment. And we could be angry one moment before and feel very badly about it, which I was, and I'll admit to that. And we can worry about the moment coming up. But really, what happened in the past is already gone. It's totally gone. And what happened what's going to happen, we have no idea what is going to happen. We only know what's happening right this moment. And because of that, we need to learn or need to begin to recognize that. We need to begin to recognize that this moment is all we have. And when we give this moment that moment in time, then we are giving ourselves a time to grow, a time to become more ourselves, and to move forward. Having said that, I guess we're not getting our 11-year-old. He's having some laptop issues. Having said that, I want to introduce you to Gayathri and Alex, both who have been on the show a few times. Alex is an old friend of mine, and Gayathri is a new friend. And I'd like Gayathri to take over for a moment and talk about being in the moment. And then as I do some things that I quickly need to do, and then we'll get this conversation going from what Gayathri has to say. Gayathri, can you please open up the mic and say hello?
Hello, everybody. I'm Gayathri Deshmukh from India, and welcome to MindPlore with Carla and Friends. While we are talking about making each and every moment count, I cannot not think about what Steve Jobs said. He said, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. How many times do we do that? Most of the times we end up giving up on our own wishes. We end up giving up on what we would want to do and end up doing what people would like us to do. Marvelously stated. However, making each and every moment count is more than simply realizing that the time is limited. As Bruce Lee says, if you love life, don't waste life, for time is what life is made up of. And he so rightly said, when we talk about life, What are we talking about? We are essentially talking about the time we spent. What is experience? Experience is all about how we spent that time and what we learned from that time. This also happens to be the time that I remember Dr. Seuss's statement. Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. And as someone who is in mid-30s, I can tell you that as I reflect upon my journey, as I look back into the time, yes, Carla?
For one moment, Huzaifa, there's an extra noise on your mic. Could you please do me a favor and fix it? You may need to go out and come back, but I need you to fix it because it's affecting the transmission right now. Thank you so very much. Okay, Gayathri, Gayathri, you do not need to mute yourself at all. I knew who it was. Okay, go on.
So we were talking about what Dr. Seuss said. Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. As somebody in mid-30s, I can vouch for it. As I reflect upon the time that has gone behind, as I look back into the time, I realized that there were so many small moments, beautiful moments. And what was I doing in those moments? Either living in the past or thinking about the future, thereby ruining all those moments. And even in memories, what have they become? Not more than a regret. Like Buddha said, the trouble is that you think you have time. Indeed, that is the trouble. We do think we have time until we realize we don't. So my dear friends, don't count every second. Make every second count, because that is what living in the moment means. That is what making each and every present moment count means.
Gayathri, do you have some more quotes to share with us?
We have a lot of quotes, but I think we can move on with what?
Gayathri, do you have some more quotes?
No, I think this would be it.
Because I was expecting, okay. Alex, what do you think about living in the moment?
Okay.
What does that mean to you?
Yes, I will first introduce myself.
Absolutely.
All right. So, hi, everybody. This is Alex from Brazil. I'm 21 years old. I was born in Manaus City in the Amazon state, close to the Amazon rainforest. I study languages, English, Portuguese, and literature at university. I'm very happy to be here in this amazing show. I've been here since 2020. It's been like 3 years, and I'm very excited for today's opportunity. And as I was living in the present moment, Carla had to call me to join in the show because I had forgotten. But that's just the way we are. Sometimes we forget. Sometimes we are not responsible for certain situations in our life. But talking about the present moment, I remember a quote from Jesus Christ, and he said that, therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. So with that, I can tell you that we should never worry about what we are going to do tomorrow, what we are going to dress, what we are going to drink, it, because living in the present moment brings joy and excitement. And I'm used to saying to my friends, sometimes at university or just near my house, I tell them, please do not stress out. Life happens just once. So with that, I can tell you that your life happens just once. So enjoy your life to the fullest. Enjoy it every day. Don't try to live somebody else's calendar or someone else's life or something like that. Live your life, be happy just the way you are. And as our friend just said, make every second count. Live it moment by moment. Don't stress out. Just be happy.
Okay, what do you do that helps you stay in the moment?
What I do to stay in the moment is just to have this mindset. I've lived, I guess, 25% of my life. I can tell you. So I have like 75% to live. So I actually live every day as if it were my last day. I do my best with my relationships, with my responsibilities, even though I fail sometimes, but that's okay. And I just believe that you've got to have this mindset. Being the present is the best way, because if you worry about tomorrow, sometimes what you are worrying about, it doesn't even happen. Sometimes it happens in a totally different way. So that's what I can tell you so far.
Okay, having said that, tell me a little more about how you feel about the present moment. I'm going to come back to you guys. Actually, Huzaifa needs to introduce himself and become a part of this conversation. Huzaifa, please tell us who you are and tell us your thoughts about the present moment.
Hi everyone, this is Huzaifa Ahmed.
Slow down, please.
Hi everyone, this is Huzaifa Ahmed. I am 11 years old and I am here to share my thoughts about making every moment count, every present moment count. So what I want to tell you is that life is actually too short to fill it up with regrets. So the main reason for today's session is that making you all aware that if we live in regrets and if we keep regretting on ourselves, so that will cause our life, that will cause a big problem in our lives. So we need to live every moment as we need to live every moment of our lives with fun and as we want, because we never know when we might close our eyes permanently, and we never know what could happen to us. We never know what life has in store for us. So we need to experience every moment as a true life and not as a regretted burden.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
And I have also gathered up some quotes. So, Mahatma Johnson.
Huzaifa, we want to see your whole face, not just your nose up. Can you pick? Great. Keep it that way. Do you have a book that you can put your phone on so that your phone stays still?
Okay, so I was saying that Mahatma Johnson said, "You never know when your time is going to expire. So remember, as you add years to your life, it is more important to add life to your heirs, which basically means that as we are moving on with our lives, as we are moving on with the years of our life is becoming shorter. So the years and the moments that we are spending in our lives, we need to make them colorful and make them happy. We need to live them happily. Like if we wake up in the morning and start thinking that, oh, I forgot to do something, now I have to do this, and regret and say that I am bad, or we pushed ourselves too much, so that will cause many problems in our life. So we need to live every moment as proper life, as a colorful and happy life, because we could never say that we are going to live tomorrow or we will not be available tomorrow. That is what living every moment means.
Outstanding.
Wonderful. I'm going to turn it back to you, Gayathri, and then I'm going to be joining in a moment with my thoughts.
Living in the moment and making every moment count, for me, I learned it very hard way. There was a time when I used to walk around with my friends, but I was so lost in my thoughts that a lot of things would happen around and I would miss out on all of them. I would miss out on them because I was mostly lost in the thoughts about the things that had happened in the past, or I was manifesting the future. I never managed to keep my thoughts in the present while I was in college, and I paid the price. Today, when I look back at the memories, I don't have many college memories because when all of those things were happening, I was nowhere to enjoy them. Today, in my mid 30s, when sometimes I behave like a college student, like a teenager, people ask me, why are you behaving like that? And I tell them I'm just making up for the time I lost. But can I really make up for that time? I cannot. If in mid 30s I'm going to live my teenage years, when am I going to live my years of mid 30s? And honestly, that has made me more aware about every moment. And today I can say confidently that I don't think about future, I don't dwell in the past. I am living in the present moment and I am making it count.
You know what's very interesting about this? The present moment. And I remember hearing this when I was younger, be here now, present moment. And it was a normal conversation at all times. Now, the reason I'm mentioning it now is that I think it takes time to get to the point where you are actually living in that moment or even understanding it. Because there are things that happen and we think, oh my gosh, I made the worst possible mistake. Or, oh my gosh, I'm doing the best thing that I possibly can do. And when we're figuring this out, and it doesn't happen overnight, it comes with time, we begin to be more conscious of the moment. We're not worrying about things like, as I said, I got angry for a few moments before the show because people were not showing up. Alex actually said to me, I forgot about the show. He's been begging me to be on the show. I have trouble understanding that. But every person has their own way of working on the moment. Every person has their way of worrying about what's going on. The other day, someone said, you need a vacation. Well, that person doesn't know that I am going to be doing quite a bit of traveling very soon, and that will be sort of a vacation. It will be a vacation for me. But the worry that we spend, or the time we spend regretting, it's already done. The past is done. You can't do anything about it but say, I'm sorry, and move forward. The future, I have no idea what's going to happen 2 minutes from now. Gayathri could get mad at me and leave me. Huzaifa has been leaving every few seconds. I'm not sure why, but he's leaving every few seconds. I can't worry about what's going to happen. I can only live this moment as it is, and people are coming in and going out. It doesn't matter. We might as well have fun with the moment. Anyone want to pick up on what I just said, please? Huzaifa, Gayathri.
Alex unmuted himself. I think Alex wants to say something.
Well, no one should be muted anyway in this.
Okay.
That's a whole other conversation, and I'm not going to get into it.
Okay. All right. So I'm very glad that you will be traveling. So that's good news. Congratulations for that. And, you know, actually in our daily lives, I believe that we actually need some rest from all the work that we do. Hi, my friend. Could you please mute yourself just for a bit? Oh, yes. Great. So basically, we need some rest from our daily activities. If we are always working, if we are not having fun, pleasure, watch some jokes. So we need that because we are human beings. So if you are watching this show right now, when was the last time, I ask you this question, when was the last time that you had a good laughter? Not just a fake, not a fake one, but a good laughter. When was the last time that you had a fun conversation with another person? When was the last time that you told a joke? Right? So these small moments make our lives brighter and better, happier. So that's my little message. So, and I'm very happy.
That's a very important message, Alex. There was a time where people would say, hey, when did you last laugh? I ask that question a lot. When did you last smile? And we don't realize that our smile and our laughter are the most powerful antidepressants in the world. But we go out and we search. I don't, but people search to have for the greatest pill to take to get away from your sadness, or the greatest drug. You have it within you. And it's making that decision. You can make the decision to be happy or sad every moment of your life. And when you make that decision, you become that. It's what you are thinking.
Absolutely.
And it's learning to become aware of what makes you happy right this moment instead of what's making you sad. You can worry about the money in the bank that you don't have right this moment. Or you can think, oh, I'd be so happy when I start my travels, and that's going to happen soon. Or the cat comes, I don't know where my crazy cat is, but the cat comes by and does something very funny and makes me smile. And that changes the moment. So not only do we need to discuss what is happening we need to make that decision of what we are going to talk about in the moment at that moment. Are we going to talk about something we're worrying about, or do we want to talk about something that makes us happy? And when we decide something that makes us happy, look at the shift that begins to happen in your mind and your way of looking at life. Huzaifa, you are nodding your head. What is on your mind?
I'm just agreeing to what you're saying.
Okay, so what do you want to say about it?
Well, I just want to say that whatever you're saying is pretty true, that we need to make sure that we are living our lives properly. That, as you said, you are going to travel, and I'm really happy about that. But
slow down, please. Okay.
If there was someone else in your place, they could have thought that I'm going to go to travel. Maybe what will happen behind me, and who will take over my house? What about my cat? Someone could have thought that, but it's our mindset and our way of thinking that how we put it that may affects our life. If, as you said, that you are happy that you are going to travel, it's a sort of a vacation. But for someone else, it could turn out to be a disaster. But we need to think positive in order for a positive reply or a positive impact. As Harman Killebrew said, life is precious and time is a key element. So let's make every moment count and help those who have a greater need than our own. Meaning that life could be very short. So the time that we have in our lives, we should utilize it and make the best out of it. And what could make you happier than helping those who need the time and everything else more than you? So these are the moments and parts of your life that could be important. Don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You have to make the moment perfect. By that I mean that if some people say that I will do it when the right time comes. I will eat when I am hungry or something like that. So when you say that when the right time comes, there is not going to be a right time for a proper thing. If you think that way, then you are going to be lost in your life. But on the other hand, if you think that, oh, right now could be the right time, let's do it now without hesitating and without waiting for the perfect moment and utilizing the time that you have. Because as we are all aware, we never know when life could end. So we need to utilize every moment as we move on with our life.
Wise man. Very nice.
And do you believe he's only 11 years old?
I cannot believe in it. It's a very, very difficult because he's absolutely wise.
Right. And that's the point. As young children, we are wiser. We have it. And then we let the stress of money or the stress of our job or the stress of oh no, I can't do this. You think you can't do something that you really can. And Huzaifa, I want to see that whole face and your shoulders. Thank you. And we forget what we knew as a child. I think it's time that we begin going backwards to our youth and begin enjoying again. What do you think, Gayathri?
I think we have to begin at some point. And what is the best time to begin if not today? If not at this very moment? Let's come out of those regrets. Maybe we have had regrets in the past, but today we can make that decision at this very moment that let's make this moment count. And what do we mean when we say that make this moment count? It means that we have to be present in this moment 100%. We are not thinking about anything other than what is happening in this moment. For instance, I'm sharing time with Carla, Alex, and Huzaifa. But if I'm not here mentally, and if mentally I'm in 10 different places, I am not in those 10 different places. It's just my mind wandering. But here, where I am right now, having this conversation, if I don't manage to be a part of this conversation to my fullest extent, this conversation will become a part of my regrets, wherein I would end up feeling, if only I had enjoyed that conversation 100%. That was my area of interest. That was my topic of interest. But human mind travels faster than light. Human mind is not stable. It's like horses, and we need to learn how to ride it rather than losing control over it. So let's do that. Let's make the moment count by living that moment to its fullest. Enjoying every moment that life has offered us.
And it's true, the moments change from moment to moment. We need to work with the moment for what it is. Alex.
So did you ask me a question?
What do you want to say?
Okay, no, I'm very amazed by our friends' wisdom. And then he was just sharing amazing things about living in the present moment. And I can tell you that being a child again is also an important step that we can take in our lives as adults. So because children, they are not worried about the bills or what they are going to eat tomorrow. They are just living in the present. They are just curious. So I do not have the same wisdom as our 11-year-old friend, but
stop, Alex. I don't like that you said that, because that's not true. We all have that wisdom. We all have that ability. What happens is it gets lost in the worries that we have. Oh, if I don't go to college, I'm going to miss out on a good career. I'm not putting down school. Please don't get me wrong. But sometimes just going to school and having formal learning doesn't give you everything you need in life.
Absolutely.
And that's forgotten. The schools are not teaching human values. Parents have walked away from human values because they're so concerned about, am I going to get COVID? Am I going to get monkeypox? Am I going to lose all the money that I need? But instead of having those thoughts about what I'm going to lose and what I'm going to gain, keeps us from being in the moment. It keeps us from thinking, hey, I'm not good enough. This 11-year-old is smarter than me. He's great. Don't get me wrong. That's why
he's amazing.
That's why I want him to come. But I also don't want him to lose his childhood now. Because when he gets into all these things and he sees adults really appreciating him, he's also going to think, well, I need to do this, I need to do that, and not go out and play cricket or go out and play soccer or football. We as adults have forgotten to do that. We have forgotten when we are sad that go do something fun. And there are many kids who spend hours and hours studying. And it's good that you're studying, but your life shouldn't be only around books. It's good that adults are working and enjoying their jobs. But if you have a family, you need time for the family and all these different things. And everything gets lost when we are thinking, I have lost it. Because you haven't, Alex. Gayathri, you haven't lost it. Huzaifa is still in that pure space. I hope I'm getting back there. But it's just a question of recognizing that. Okay, Alex, now you can continue. I'm sorry, I had to interrupt that.
Well, what I meant is that I need to improve myself in so many different ways.
Whoa. Do you like yourself as you are right now?
Yes, I like.
Okay, so why do you need to improve yourself? Why are you not content with yourself as Yuri Moura? You changed your name.
Should I say develop? I should develop myself more.
You don't need to should do it. That's going to happen anyway. Okay. That's your journey in life. But what you need to do is like yourself as you are right this moment and not worry about developing yourself. That will happen anyway.
Right.
Gayathri, do you want to add something? Because I stopped him abruptly and...
I think that what Alex is actually trying to say is that when we look at the new generation, now I have students who are 15 years old. I look at them and I'm like, oh my God, this generation is so evolved. And they call themselves Gen Z. I believe you guys are aware of the generations, the Boomers 1, Boomers 2, the yes. Post-war generation, Gen X, Millennials, and of course the current generation, the Gen Z. What sets Gen Z apart from all their previous generations is that Gen Z people are evolved in terms of understanding about life. So while millennials would still cry over the breakups like the Gen X and the post-war generation and the boomers, Gen Z people move on quickly. They really live in the moment. They are not conflicted. They are not in denial. They don't find themselves in a dilemma of what to do and what not to do. they have a clarity of purpose, and that amazes me beyond anything else, because I remember how I was at that age, and then I look at them and I feel as if I had that kind of clarity then, maybe I would have been a more evolved person today. The understanding that I have today is the understanding that the Gen Z kids already have in their early 20s. They make their mistakes in their teens. They are not making mistakes in their 20s. Whereas I think we are still making mistakes in our 30s. So I think that is what
Making
Alex meant.
mistakes. What are you saying about that? Mistakes are needed. You cannot grow, you cannot develop unless you do make mistakes.
I agree, Carla, but if you look at the new generation, the nature of mistakes that they are making and the nature of mistakes that we are making, we are kids in front of them.
But it doesn't matter. You grew up in a different generation, a different way of thinking. You can't compare apples to oranges. Lemonade to orange juice. They're two separate things. And you can't say, oh, I wish I grew up then. Well, who knows? You may come back in this generation, die today and come back 10 months later, you'll be a part of it. But do you really want to do that? Or do you want to live your life and travel your journey? Because your journey is not the same journey that he has. Or
Definitely
Alex
not.
has.
That I definitely agree.
Mistakes are needed. Sorry,
Let her finish.
I'm shutting up now.
Okay, go on, my friend.
Oh, no, not at all. I was just talking about the generational gap. Of course, whatever the new generation is, it's a product of what the previous generation have done. For example, when we talk about the condition of women today, we are standing on the sacrifices that women made in 60s and 70s, which is what has given that power of choice, that power of being independent to the new age women. Likewise, I'm not taking away from the yester generations. I'm not taking away the contributions that my generation made. But yes, I look at this new generation and I really feel like I wish I had that maturity. I wish I had that understanding. I would have lived my life better. I probably would have been a happier person, maybe. I don't know, the kind of detachment that Gautam Buddha spoke about, the kind of detachment that we read in Bhagavad Gita, the kind of detachment. I mean, you're involved but not entangled completely. That detachment I see in them, wherein they are involved but they are not entangled. And I wish I can learn them from them.
Actually, we don't know that they're not entangled. You are looking from the outside into it, from the outside to the outside. We don't know how entangled they are. You know?
Agreed. Possible. I agree with that. We may not know the way they are entangled, but what I actually like is that even if they are entangled, they don't make it evident. They don't let it come in the way of their determinations and goals, which yester generations did when they
You
got
don't know
entangled.
that. You know that for you right now, but that doesn't mean in 5 minutes you won't be moving forward on that. You're getting stuck in your own head. I get stuck in my own head. It's not anything unusual. But being in the present is learning not to get stuck with what happened 2 minutes ago or what may happen 3 minutes from now. just means living in that moment. I mean, this is a very tough, actually, topic for everyone because we're all afraid of it. Yes, Alex, I saw your hand.
Okay. All right. So I really like what you guys are discussing about generation gaps. And I was born in 2001. And
You are a Gen Z, Alex. You are a Gen Z.
Yes.
That is why he was letting me speak so much, Carla. I was praising the Gen Z. So he wanted to listen to some more praises for their generation.
Yeah,
Yes.
Smart,
You know,
Alex. That is what I'm calling the Gen Z, smartest generation. They
yes.
know how to get things done.
You know, but I see that like we don't want to get to a different topic, but let's say like the young generation, like from Gen Z, they want everything so fast. If you go to Instagram, they want to learn something in just 15 seconds with reels. So if you go to Instagram, they want to watch 15-second video, 30-second video. So we are living in a hurry. We want everything so fast. But I also agree with you that our generation is broad, open-minded. We want to learn. We want to get better. We want to evolve. But there is one point that sometimes we don't want to accept the other person's perspective, even though we may listen to them. So sometimes we are stuck. Sometimes we don't want to listen to old people, more wiser people, but I think it depends on your perspective. Like I was born in 2001, and I feel like I'm happy, and it doesn't really matter which generation you are from, because each generation has their unique aspects, and people from a certain generation, they have abilities, they have certain characteristics that make them unique. So there is no comparison in that. We just need to accept that I was born in this generation, so that's that. So how can I improve now in 2022? How can I evolve? Do I need some changes in the way that I live my life? So we just need to analyze. Does that make sense?
it makes sense. I just don't know if we need to stick in the analyzation. I just keep moving on, because when we analyze, we're in the past. Well, I said this and I said that, and I maybe made someone angry because of what I said, and you can't do anything about it. If you stay there, you're stuck there. Or you, oh, I don't want to say this to that person. I better be quiet. I better not say what I need to say. You're keeping yourself from being who you are. I don't know if that makes sense. I know I do it, you know.
It does.
It does. And I would like to add one more thing here, that what you are saying makes sense. And what I want to say is that a way to realize that you can't live in the past, or a way to live every moment, is to realize that what you regret. If I ask any one of you what you regret, the most probable answer might be that you lost a chance, or you made someone angry, a regret like that. So you want to think in a different perspective, with a different angle. Like if you lost the chance, you regret it because you didn't take the chance that you could have taken, and that is the past. So what did you learn from it? You should have learned that now any other chance or opportunity that comes in your path, you need to take it. You need to grasp it at first sight. And if you made someone angry, as Carla said right now, I made someone angry, and now I should stay quiet. Even if you don't stay quiet, you need to look in different perspectives. You need to look for solutions that how can I make things better now with the person? How can I resolve things between us? I can give them something they like, or the next time between a conversation, I could say something like that they say. I could try to speak like them. So we all have a different way of thinking and a different mindset, and we need to utilize our mindsets. We need to use the way we think to make every moment count and to live the life that we have.
Sandy, fantastic.
So what are you doing these days, Huzaifa? Are you living your most perfect moment?
Yep, as I said before, every moment is perfect. You just need to grasp it. So for me, I'm doing all the things that I love. I'm applying all my passions. Like, as you know, I do a lot of things. I design and all of that. So all of those things are what I love. I come to MindPlore every week, almost every week, because I like coming here. I like the conversation. And I often come to the English shows because I like how you teach there. So I'm doing things my way, and I'm doing things that I like. So I'm living my life my way, and I'm living my life as I want to. So that's what we need to know. And the best example for me is that to imagine that life is like a river, and that river is a flowing river. We need what I'm about to say is, you might want to remember it, that life is a flowing river. If you put your hand in once, the small portion of water that you put your hand in could not come back. That it cannot come back. You cannot put your hand in the same water again.
Yes.
You will now put your hand in the next portion of water, because the river is flowing. I hope I am making myself clear.
Very clear.
Very
Wow.
clear.
Wow, I like that.
You need to think that life is a flowing river. If you take a little bit of the water in your hand, it will flow off your hand after a bit. But it will make your hand wet. For a little moment, it will make your hand wet. What I mean by that is, every moment could be important, and it won't come back. So you need to grasp every second of your life. Don't count every second, make every second count.
Gayathri, you look like you have something on your mind.
Just that I think Huzaifa articulated it really well. That if he asks us what we regret, then it usually comes down to the chances we missed or the way we behave with certain people. I remember when I first realized the kind of trauma I was carrying, not because people did wrong to me, but because I wronged a few people. I started making a list of people that I believed I hurt. It was a long list. And I made time to reach out to each and every person, conveying an apology. There were a couple of them who were absolutely not in touch. I couldn't find them on any of the social media. There were a couple of them who I couldn't even remember their full names to really go on social media to search them, which is when I just sent it out in the universe, an apology. It definitely took away the regrets from me. Maybe I did it to absolve myself of everything. I cannot explain, but that realization that I wronged somebody, and to accept that, I did go on this spree when I made a list and I went out apologizing to all those people. And it did make a difference to me. And I think, yeah, I did make those moments count, those moments of realization, and I definitely value them a lot.
And it takes time. But if you're always regretting what has happened in the past, you can't do it. Alex, last words?
Okay, so thank you everyone for this opportunity here. It's a privilege to learn from all of you about living in the present moment. And I like what our friend just said, that life is like a flowing water, flowing river. So if you put your hand in a certain portion, you're not going to put your hand in the same portion. So it will go to a different one. So that was a powerful lesson. So I learned with this that sometimes we are gonna have different situations in our lives. Some of them are not going to be the same, but all of them we can do something to behave in a better way. So live in the present moment, enjoy your life. Don't, if you regret, go ahead and do what you can to be better, but just live, let it flow.
Right. Let the river of life, which is also the river of our lives, we're more water than anything else.
Yes.
So the water is always flowing through our body. The blood is always flowing.
Mhm.
Nothing is the same from moment to moment. You were a baby, and when you were a baby, you grew. You didn't change bodies. Your body just got bigger. And by being aware that we're all growing and life is changing, it's a lot easier to find more joy in life. Did anyone say some final words before I close the show? Huzaifa?
Well, I just want to say that I had a lot of fun today and learned a lot of things. And thank you for it all, for all of the kindness and all of the appreciation that you showed. And while closing the session, I just want to add a quote and something that, as Charles Bukowski said, life can only be classified into 3 to 4 things. Some moments are nice, some are even nicer, and some are so nice that they are worth writing. If you put an eye on this mindset, you will note that there is no negativity in this sentence. And if we all think like this, just imagine that we only pick up the moments in our life and think positive. I hope I'm being clear.
Yes, you are.
And make life worth living. Don't make it a burden for ourselves. Don't fill it with regrets. I agree that we may make a lot of mistakes and they are necessary. Just think if exams, if it's in an school exam, you got a question wrong. That was a mistake. It can be fixed now, but you keep saying to yourself that I got that question wrong. What will I do now? But if you think in a different way and think that what was the question? Oh, so this was the question. I should take out the topic. Oh, so this was the topic. I will study for the next exam better and focus on this topic specifically. So that will help you in the next exam rather than regretting yourself over the past question. So you need to remember that. And I just remembered a line from a book I read, that past is what you have spent, the future is what you are going to do, and right now is a gift. That's why it's called a present. If you note it, right now this moment is a gift. That's why it's called present. In English, another word for gift is present. So right now is a gift from God. So it's a present. And we need to take this gift and play with it and make all out of it that we can. So we can live our life like a life instead of a burden filled with regrets. That gift, the box of the present, that gift that I'm talking about, that box of gift could be filled with burdens and regrets, and that box could be filled with the happiness and fun that we have in our life. So that is what you all need to know. And just remember the river part, so you always remember this whole session, because it really helps me to remember that every moment counts. That's all.
Thank you so very, very much. And believe it or not, we have been speaking for an hour now. And it has gone very fast. You guys stick around. We will be back on Thursday with a different panel. And I want to thank those who came, my friend Alex, Gayathri, who filled in for something very quickly and did a great job. Huzaifa, who is always amazing, and so are you, Alex. And we are going to wave goodbye. See you.
Goodbye,
Thursday.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.